Good morning, people. Good morning. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Today is September 6th, 2023, and the time is about, wow, 3:50 a.m. Yeah, so my alarm is going to go off at 4, so let me put that near me so when it goes off, I can turn it off. Yeah, good morning. Um, yeah, I woke up from a bad dream around 2 o'clock, and I just, you know, decided to stay up and watch some videos. Yeah, I'm going to talk about some things. Um, talk about I will be discussing about the drug scene in New York City and mean Maui police, the island of Maui in Hawaii, where I used to live. Yeah, some of the things I'm going to talk about might offend some people. Um, I guess I'm in pain, and I'm in pain for the planet. Yes, good morning, viewer. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Yeah, good morning. Yes, I'm going to talk about again my experience. I can only talk about what I know. I always talk from the heart. Yeah, I'm grieving. Yeah, Nubian. Grand Rising. Yes, my sister too. Yes. Yes, I appreciate your encouragement, Nubian. I appreciate you. Thank you. I know we don't talk a lot, but you just doing this, coming on, saying hello. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm a little heavy lady. I had a bad dream. I don't want to say what happened in the dream. um, but I decided, hey, just distracting myself, watch some videos. Yeah, I do. I do. I admit I am addicted to the device. So let me get going. Um, I went out yesterday. Yeah, I see that I'm not going out as much because New York City. I live in the heart of the city. It has been hot. Uh, yeah, I cannot tolerate even in the 80s. Um, in my youth, yes, I used to thank you, Nubian. Yeah, keep my head up. Yeah, yes. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Uh, yeah, bad dream. Um, but I was watching a video on Maui, and I just it's like every time when I watch videos about Maui, the island that I used to live on for about almost 3 years I was there. There were some beautiful moments there. Beautiful moments there. I had some beautiful moments in Maui. But I was forced to leave. I just had enough. And so look at the people, the poor people. I say that affectionately when I say poor people. Uh, the people of Maui um, who perished in those flames. It's like, oh wow. And it seems to be triggering something in me. I'm being triggered. Uh, so I will be talking about, I want to talk about two things that happened to me. Yeah. The video that I was watching a moment ago, just a moment ago. This guy, he's what do a citizen journalist, and it's being exposed. the wickedness that um, works there in Hawaii, Maui. We get oh, what's that term? Like the site that they want the public to see for tourism, for tourism, the Aloha State. Well, honey, you got some evil people that live there. You have beautiful people. You have beautiful people that live there that I've met. But you got a lot of wickedness in high places there. And this guy that I've been watching, um, that I did talk about a couple of videos ago. He did a video. He was on his way to a funeral and he was on the highway. And his experience at, while just stopping on the highway, again, there's no one there. He was up on the hill in Lahaina where the fire tragedy happened, looking down on the valley, looking downward towards the water. Yeah, Dubious says the evil, all of this, yes, 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 I agree with that. And so basically what I'm doing, I'm exposing it. I think I'm being triggered and the things that happened to me there and exposing about that you know, the Hawaiian Islands are just like any island. I live on an island right now, Manhattan Island, and all the corruption that's here too. It's all over. It's all over. And I'm not just picking on Maui. I lived there, so I can talk about what I experienced there. Put light on things. It wasn't aloha to me there. So this citizen journalist that was there with his son, they get detained for a while on the highway, even after him saying, "Oh, I'm on my way to a funeral." So I'm going to be talking about that and what's happening here in New York City, where I live now. I was born and raised in New York City. I live on the beautiful island of Manhattan. Yeah, Manhattan is, that's how I pronounce it. Yeah, Manhattan is an island. And it's not tropical, but boy, is it hot here, hot and humid and sticky. And so that's why I've been staying indoors a lot. And I think my motivation is going down because I'm a very sensitive human being, very sensitive. And I could pick up things energies that many people may overlook or just try to avoid noticing. I've always been this way, but I think more so now as I get older. And I think that, both of these worlds are colliding. I'm seeing the world as it is, but um, we live in a duality system. So even with evil, there's also beauty too. They're both. So I have to really decide which one I really want to focus on. But I can't help but see certain things. So let me continue. Yeah, I might as well start with Maui first. They're both New York and Maui. They really are the one and the same. So this journalist, citizen journalist, had his smart device recording live. And again, see, when you don't record things, when you don't record, well, how do you know what happened then? You need, this is how history is made. History is about relaying your story and be able to pass it on, whether it be by uh, smartphone, pen and paper. You know what I'm getting at? Oops. Sorry, sorry about that. Yeah, it's 82 degrees in my room right now. It's hot, even though the window's open. Yeah, it's hot and sticky. Okay, sorry about that. So it's 4 o'clock, people. Okay, so he's been history is about what information you can pass on, whether it's even be in a newspaper. You have to document what's going on because down the road, that information that you're capturing will be needed. And it may even be able to save your life and save your bank book. Okay? So this citizen journalist, he was recording. He saw the cops coming, because he had pulled on the highway and looking downward towards the water, and because Lahana got destroyed in the fire, and so and memorials now, people they put up like a little fence, and people are tying crosses, in memory of the people that got lost, perished. It was very sweet. Um, so he's up there on the highway, and I guess when they saw the police cars coming, oh yeah, it's like a police state in Maui. I'm saying it, police state. Aloha to you too. Wait, anyways, um, trying to put light on what's going on. So he asked them on camera. It's a live stream he's doing as a citizen reporter. Um, what statute is there um, that it's against the law to park your car on the highway? It's isolated. It's like like in a long highway. It's all this prairie land around you. It's like in a desert. Oh, you can't stop here. And so in a nutshell, they did. They gave him a ticket for. Oh, his front license plate was missing. Yeah, they want to look to find something to give you. Well, see, that's how they make money. Aloha to you too. Yeah, that's how they make money. When they give you a ticket, and then they also gave him some what we call a citation or something. I forget the terms that they use. He has to report to court. He has to report to court because he parked there. He just stopped for a moment. He told them, I'm on my way to a funeral. Yeah, the funerals in Maui. Yeah, it'd be mass funerals now. See, I forgot about that. Mass funerals now. It's, I think, over 4 weeks now. 4 weeks. Little now, over 4 weeks. Um, and they were being a hard nose on him, and they detained him. They, oh, can we have your registration and license? And he was there for quite a while. See, they want to do a check. And I feel it's like a police state. Oh, we got an agitator. That's what I'm thinking now. Oh, this Howley guy. Howley means white person. And we got this Howley guy. And he stopped at the road. And he was videotaping. And so he got a report to, after all this crime, I believe what happened in Maui, all this crime happening in Maui, they got the effing nerve to want to bring someone to court because they were taken or being a journalist. See, your rights are being abused. Your rights are being abused. They're taking away your rights, even in the Aloha state of Hawaii. And so, yeah, they did that to him. He handled himself well, and the cops didn't want to give their name or badge number. Well, if you're doing your job, see, when you give a name, see, names are important. When you give a name, it's accountability, because they can always say, oh, that wasn't me. By law, as a cop, I mean, again, I'm not a lawyer, anything like that, you should give your name and your badge number because you may have to go to court. You got to know who you're suing or who's suing you or who's pressing charges against you as a citizen journalist. Oh, you need your credentials. He said he was getting his credentials. And I was surprised he said New York. Yeah, I try to get a citizen's, a press pass too. A couple of years back, now that I remember. Yeah, there were a lot of things. I think that was in 2017. Yeah, I was even more active on YouTube. And I was witnessing things, and I had my little camera, uh, and I recorded things. And you have to go to a police department to get it. Police department, they said, oh, well, you have to uh, have X hour, what's that? X amount of things, of what's considered news. I'm not sure, I don't remember if it was a certain amount of hours or a certain number. Yeah, and I felt there was a resistance. I think I went there twice. I forget. But it was some resistance, and I gave up on getting a um, press pass. Maybe I should try to get another one. I mean, try to get it again. Because things are getting hairy. And when you have that press pass and you have it showing, it's just another way of protecting yourself. But again, if some jerk is going to be hard nosed, no matter what you have, no matter what your credentials are, it's just another excuse to take away your rights. Maybe I just might try to get my thing again. Okay. So, yeah, so he has to go to court. You know, so they're going to go through all this, a court hearing, because he's standing on the fucking road, empty road, a desert like, after this horrible, horrible massacre in Lahaina. Yes, it was a massacre, a genocide. It wiped out uh, maybe 99% of the structures there and did kill lives. And plus, now it's toxic. So even the houses that didn't fall, the fumes and the toxins of those poisons, because when things burn, plastics, it's a toxic poison. It could kill you. You go in your home, you're smelling, sniffing it in, you're breathing it in. It's toxic for you. It can kill you. So they're going to have to tear down everything. You can't just go back in your home. So he said, yeah, I'm so glad that my house was spared, but you can't live in it. You think you could drink that water? Hell no, you can't drink it. Toxic. The whole thing is toxic. And I think it was in my opinion, you know how I get very dramatic sometimes. I speak in the truth. Um, yeah, oh God, I just lost train of thought. But it's toxic. And oh, it's like a sacrifice, human sacrifice. Massive destruction. See, with massive destruction like this, that I believe was man-made, due DEW, direct energy weapons. That's what I believe what happened. You saw the video I did. Um, I shared a video of this this researcher. They had strips of fabrics of some type, and they were in different colors. And the blue color one did not burn. They used a laser, and all the other colors were burning except for the blue one. And there are videos, I mean, what do you call it? Photographs that people took on the crime site. Yes, I believe it was a crime site where it happened in Lahaina, the city of Lahaina. Um, there were things that were blue, like a blue basket, these giant blue umbrellas, blue cars, but somehow they didn't get zapped or vaporized. So it's really suggesting that this was not a natural occurrence, but a murder, in my opinion. In my opinion, and people perished, buildings were destroyed. It was a historical site. And overnight, just in hours, zap. And so I used to live there. When I first arrived, I was living in the heart of that town that's now zapped. I shared with you what it looks like where I live now, right at the spot on Google Earth. Go on Google Earth, and you'll see it yourself. The rubble. But of course, you cannot get like you get the area view, but when you click on it to look on ground level, that they don't have, of course, the current state, but the ground level that they do show is pre-fire, pre-fire. So you can see, where I used to live and the buildings next to where I lived and everything and all that. The jobs that I worked at, it's all rubble, all rubble. And so when I see this, I get angry. I get angry. Thank you for this thumbs up. Thank you. Um, I get angry. I lived there. It was many, many years ago, but I had lived there. And when I moved there, uh, it's a nice, quiet place. I never felt danger walking to work, my job on Front Street. That's all zapped also. They should call that town Zappo, right? It's zapped. So I'm just showing, telling about my experience when I used to live there. And um, I told you about the citizen journalist that got stopped by the cops and given a citation and something because he didn't have his front plate was missing. Shouldn't they be worried about other things, these cops? See, they're protecting the crime scene to cover up. It's not to keep the evidence, it's to cover up the evidence of foul play. I believe it was all foul play, and they're using the cops to cover. Where were the cops to protect the lives of those people there that were trying to flee? Could you imagine if you're trying to flee a place, flee terror, and flames coming at you, and they did that? Those fucking idiots, those cops. Excuse my language. When I get angry now, I never used to curse. I used to be a very shy person, afraid to open my mouth because growing up, I used to be beaten. You open your mouth, you had no rights, and they'll beat you. So that's why I kind of like this. Why I was like that. But I'm tapping into my power and learning how to speak. And I want to speak my mind. And sometimes when I get angry, I do use some colorful language. So I apologize for those who I might be offending. But as you know, those of you who've been following my channel, I speak from the heart. If you don't have a heart, what do you have? You don't have anything. Speak from the heart. That's how I feel. So, yeah, so um, I believe that they're hiding information. You can't even get a drone out there. You have a right as a citizen journalist. You don't have a right to go through the rubbish. Don't go through your rubbish. They're not even allowing the people who live there. Oh, you have to have a special, what do you call it, a wristband. This special wristband, I guess, to prove that you live there, whatever. But you don't see anybody there. Why do you always see the same type of people? You don't see the bulk of the people that live there. Or the business owners. Where the hell are they? Get your ass out there. Let people see it. Expose the evil. Expose the evil one. Let the people get their stuff. Because, they're mentioning that they're safes. There are a lot of people with money there. And they had their safes with the valuables. Okay? They're not, the citizen journalist was saying that they're not even allowed to get down there to get their safes. Because, see, now, he was also showing in a different video that now you're going to have funerals. I never thought about that. Funerals of the remains, some of the people, there were only bones remained. And they're asking the people, the survivors, for DNA. Oh, God, people. God have mercy. I never heard of this. Ask for a DNA sample. If the person is found in a house and you have proof that you lived in that house, your family, whatever, who's missing, that's the person, right? Why ask them for DNA? Well, there's trouble ahead, in my opinion. In my opinion, what do you guys think? I live here in New York City. And we had the 9/11 thing, and 9/11 is coming up September 11th. It's coming up very soon. What happened? Did they ask people for DNA sample? Did they ask? Tell me, people who are listening right now. Did any the people? This would be the 22nd year. Did anyone? Was anyone asked at the who have loved ones who died in that tragedy? Were they asked to give a DNA sample? No, no. So why are the people of Hawaii being asked for a DNA sample to get their loved one that died on their property? Well, one thing, many of the people in Maui are people of color. See, no one wants me to talk about this. I didn't know I was going to even talk about this part of it in this live stream. But what happened? I sense something even more sinister is being set up against the people who live there. Get a DNA sample and then create a biological weapon against the genetics there, in my opinion. Oops, some people might have offended already. But that's okay. That's okay. I do this for my therapy too, to get off what's on my chest. Yeah, and I don't do these videos to offend people, but to express how I feel and to share with you what could really be happening. Because I actually love people and when I help people. And I'm I think I'm an empath. I feel things. I've always felt things. And I'm wondering why I always feel the way I do. I feel. And I don't understand people's behavior. Pretending that something's not happened doesn't correct how you feel, how your heart feels. And so now, as time goes on, I'm starting to learn to express why I feel. Why am I feeling this way? Why would you ask someone for a DNA sample? And when you have bones of someone who died in a fire, there's no DNA. Let me repeat again. When you die tragically, like in a fire, your DNA is destroyed. There's no DNA to get. DNA is very fragile, and fire destroys it. So why the hell would you ask somebody uh, for a DNA sample, and yet you just got bones? People of Hawaii have to wake up. Wake up. And anybody who's listening to this and knows someone that's in Hawaii or anywhere, say, hey, Spirit Journey has a point about something. Do not give DNA sample to try to discover whether this is a relative, because it's all bones. There's no DNA. You cannot get DNA from bones. Or they might say, oh, their teeth. It's all the bone. Teeth are minerals. Unless you get the blood, like when you pull out your tooth or something, there's a little bone, little blood inside the tooth, right? But if it's destroyed in the fire, there's no DNA to get. So why are they asking you? Hawaii, you better start thinking. You have to start thinking. It's like where are they? There are a lot of people living on Maui, but you don't see anybody. It's all deserted. They don't want people there. The police and everything to go to their house. It's like a ghost town. Ghost. They get that go there in masses. People. Get your phones out there. Get in there and expose them. Hey, I live there. You better start doing it. You're letting all the howlies do all the work. Get your ass out there and start doing it too. It's your land. Or the people there, the Asians that live there, the other Pacific Islanders, so get in there. Maui has all different ethnic groups that are there. Why aren't these other groups there with a camera? That's the only thing that dude has, that white guy has. He has a cell phone and is recording. That's all he's doing. Then he goes up to people and interviews them. That's all he does. Why aren't you doing it? Why? You better get in there. Or they're going to take more. They're going to take more of what is yours. Or I should say, they're going to take what isn't even yours. They're going to infringe more and more on your rights. I'm really shocked that Hawaii is going there. Yeah, my stay there in Maui, this incident that happened to me, and it's exposing the evil that worked there under the guise of the Aloha State. Yes, and I shared before, I was in a homeless shelter there. Yeah, I'm being, disclosing it. Yes, I was there for 11 months. It was a great program. This particular program is in Wailuku. Um, it's a great program for different types of people. That some people just, and I knew of someone who lost their house. Instant homelessness. Yeah, my situation was strictly economics. I had a beautiful place, a studio, and my relocating there was for economic reasons. And I lost my job. And the bills kept piling up. I was paying every month when I did get a job. I was paying every month, but I felt overwhelmed. And I was told about this program, this homeless shelter in Wailuku. It's right next to the prison that's over there. It's either a prison or a jail. Well, either way, um, uh, it's free to go. If they have room. I call a veteran representative told me about the place when I first arrived. He said, "Hey, let me show you this place. If you need it, you use it. This is a homeless shelter in case you may need it in the future." Thank God he told me about it. He was a good man. He was a Hawaiian man, a true man of the heart. He was my veterans rep. He was a vet, a good man. Yeah, he had some good souls there. I don't think he's alive now. I mean, he was older. He was like in his 60s, I think, back then, and he moved off island to live with his daughter. Um, yeah, his health. So he retired from that spot, and yeah, let me like yeah, in the Department of Labor, they have a section for veterans, like a counselor, like a job counselor for veterans, and so no matter where you go, when you go to the Department of Labor, let's say you're new to a town, go, and if you're a veteran, go to the Department of Labor and tell them that you're a veteran to see the veterans rep. And some of them have great resources, and some of them are really compassionate, okay? And that man went out of his way to me get my second job. Yeah, I had got my first job. I registered under him, and then I went to look for a job, and I got the job, and then I must have contacted him to look for a second job because yeah, I had a lot of bills, so I wanted to look for a second job, so I would be working two jobs, and if necessary, three jobs. So he drove out of his way, and he drove me to the site, uh, for this job thing. And then he also drove me to that homeless shelter. We didn't go inside, we were just outside on the highway looking, and he pointed at it. He told me, hey, if you need it, I'm just letting you know. I kept a mental note, and then my bills were just piling up. Work was very on and off. And so I said, hey, I can save money there. Well, I did sign up. I called first if they had room. They said yes. I said, I'll be coming down. Um, and then I had employment at that time when I registered at that homeless shelter. And then 2 weeks after arriving, I lose my job. Oh God, was I depressed? But either way, so the story that I was going to get at with this, so I think they gave me a voucher to go to this Catholic church that was nearby, some Catholic church in Wailuku. I think it was Wailuku. But it could have been Kahului. It could have been Kahului. So either way, so it was sometime after though that I do go to this place. It was a place for that you can get things. You might be able to get, it was like a dispensary that this Catholic church sponsored. It was in a little building, and they had things that people donated. Some of it might have been food and utensils, clothing. Just as like a thrift store, but it was free. And you get the voucher, and you present it to them. You go, you wait on, you have a line, and when it's my turn to go in. Now, this first time ever I was going in there, and it had a rack of something, like a rack of clothes or something hung up, and I was just looking through, and I had two things in my hand, because I was just, okay, see, oh, these look interesting. And the lady, the nasty, nasty, howly lady, older lady. Now don't be greedy now. Now don't be greedy now. You only can take one thing from that, like that. I said, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. They had signs all over, but you're not looking for little sign. It was like a handwritten sign. It's the first time I'm ever there, and I'm a veteran at that, and an American citizen. Don't let them forget that island, or any place that's part of the U.S. Hawaii is a state. Not even D.C. is a state. It's the same status as New York or California, Georgia, Texas. It's a state. Okay, it's not a territory like the U.S. Virgin Islands or Puerto Rico. Okay, or Guam. Those are territories. They're not a state. But Hawaii is a state. So she's talking to me like, who, excuse me. That's what I'm thinking. Excuse me? She yelled at me for having two things in my hand. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I did not know. And then I see a sign. It says, don't be greedy. Don't- Could you believe that this is a Catholic church? You nasty Catholic. Nasty, some of these institutions. Yeah. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. I apologize. I shouldn't say that. Yeah. Because I do cover, my mother is a Catholic. And some of the kids, my siblings were raised in the Catholic church, went to Catholic school. So I apologize. So, anyways, but you know what I'm getting at. Does she need to say that to me? And then, so I'm just browsing around. Then noticed that a lady there, and I think she was a foreigner by how she was dressed. They don't dress like that in Hawaii. And she had two loaves of bread. She could get two. Look at it. She could get two of something, and there was none for me. Not that I'm all into bread, you know. Again, this is many, many, many years ago. And it seemed like this is very typical of Hawaii, that they respect foreigners more than black people. I am calling it out. Yeah, there's not that many black people in Maui. Yeah, yeah, it's an island of people of color. Many are darker than me, and many are lighter. But it's a brown state, a lot of brown, colored, people of color there. And it's like, what I noticed there that the haole slash white people, um, if that like they would be like hands off if it's a non-black person of color, and they allow them to take things. They're not reprimanded. Yeah, I'm talking about job situations, things like that. They're hands off. But soon me, when they see someone like myself, a black American woman, all of a sudden that they're not as friendly. Now there were friendly people there, friendly white. There were some whites who were friendly. So I'm not talking about them, but I talk about the general feel of the place when you have to do when you're getting a benefit, when you're an in kind uh, gift, in kind, like it's a free offering. Someone like in this case. Uh, a thrift store, or the churches might have things to give to the poor, and and I was one of them. I was poor. I didn't have resources. Things were tight. Buying one lemon cost 75 cents back then. So here, this person, now, and again, I'm not about taking away what someone has. She got two loaves of bread, fine. But there was none for me. And they don't care if I don't have. And that's what I realized. It was pure hatred from that Catholic woman, whatever what she was. At least she worked there at the Catholic thrift shop. It's like like certain days of the week, those people who have the voucher to get things, whether it be some food or maybe some clothes or whatever what's in there, and I have um, you know little signs that okay, you can take one from this rack or one from there, whatever what it was. But I remember that how vicious she sounded at me, but yet How come she could take 2 loaves of bread and none left for someone like myself? Did that white lady tell the Pacific Islander, don't be greedy, you can only take one? No. Just saying, people. And then there was something else that happened to me there. Similar, very similar. I worked at this restaurant. Now, the owner was a very nice man. All peace, love, and honor to him. He died many years ago. And he was good to me personally. He interviewed me, but he had a son there who was a real jerk. And what I noticed there, it's the same flavor. Um, they had a lot of what you call locals, whatever, people of color, but non-black. And they did, what do you call, like in a restaurant they have people who did the fast orders, you know, the line cooks. And then at one part of the day, the scraps, they were used to make like a little stew for them to all eat communally. Isn't that sweet? Well, in my section, I did the baking and stuff, and there was some scraps left from my baking. So I went to, rather than throwing it in the garbage, I baked it, I cooked it. And the son came up to me, nasty, nasty, howly fellow. What do you think you're doing? Da, 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 da. Throw it out. Look at that. So here these foreigners, many they're foreigners, many are from the Philippines, and they could take the scrap and cook it, and they could all eat together and be full. But God forbid, Black America, I was the only black there, and cook it. He ordered me to throw it all in the garbage. I was humiliated. These are the type of things that happen there in the Aloha State. Very unloving and very it was to humiliate, I felt. Oh yeah, I felt humiliated. Uh, I felt like they did that I wasn't of value. Well, I tell you, I am a very valuable person. I'm a very valuable person, and shame on you people. See, why I'm sharing this? Because I'm sharing the hearts of many of the people that live there who are in some type of position of power, to screw up your life, to try to humiliate you when you're down. You see, and it's like they get off of seeing a black person who's down on their luck. It's like they feed off of that. Oh, she's down. Let me rub it in. Oh, I'll make sure she doesn't get too low, any loaf of bread. And I'm going to verbally insult her if she, And they know I did not know at the thrift store. First and only time I was in there. But I bet how many times those other people come in there weekly to get stuff. See, it's a hatred that some Americans have towards other Americans, and that how they pretend. Am I speaking truth, people? How they pretend to be all smiley and loving to people of color from the mainland when they go to Hawaii. But when I go there, um, it's like the aloha goes away, and like they don't want me there. Black people is less than 1% on that island, And I might have shared with you before in the prior videos, um, when I first started out, I started out in Lahaina, the place that got burnt down. I had rented a room in a house. I was the only black there in that house, and the only female also. And all the others were white guys slash howlies. And I remember I was going up the stairs, and this white dude, one of the housemates, said, "Oh, okay, this was in 1998." So he says, "Oh, in the 1970s, they chased out all the black people from the island." This is what he said to me. Is this aloha people, or is this intimidation, letting me know, blackie, you're not wanted here. But they're going to smile. My skin color is lighter than many of these people. The native Hawaiian is black in color, but they're going to pretend that they're like these Hawaiians, Filipinos, uh, etc., etc. There's a lot of Asians there. But they're going to say, oh, give them love, but hate on me? I didn't do anything to you. But this is what happened to me. I had just arrived. And I'm in the house, and then I had to go up the stairs. I was outside, approaching the house. Why would you go up to somebody and say that? And then they got their fucking nerve. They were stealing my food. I had gotten, and I didn't have a shopping cart. And so, they had the little plastic bags. And I'm toting like 4 heavy bags of groceries. Yeah, there was a grocery store up the road. Man, it took me a very long time to get back home carrying these heavy, heavy, and I was very skinny back then. Oh, yeah. And then they would still, I had bought some ground meat. And then I go to get, to prepare my meal one day, and I didn't even have any. And they used their bare hand to scoop it out about 1/3 of what I had there. Scoop it out with their bare hands. You can see like the scoop, their hand, their claws, and some of the meat went on the floor. So they didn't have the decency to even use a spoon to scoop it out or to wipe up what they dropped on the floor. Yet they're going to be telling me, oh, they chased off black people in the 1970s. Oh, I see you got food, but I'm going to steal your food from you. Yeah, aloha to you too. So these are the things that happened to me. It was a meanie spirit. If it's about color, so how come you're not treating these other people like at the restaurant? Yeah, it seemed like he was afraid, the owner's son. He seemed afraid, like afraid of the guy. There were more of them than me. I was the only one. And it was a group of those, I think they were Filipinos. And they're dark-skinned Filipinos. At least those Filipinos were dark. And every day could use the restaurant's food, the scraps, after they made, did the order, prepared something, they had the scraps, and they make a little stew out of it. And I did the desserts. I'm right next door to them, right next to them. And the viciousness that they said to me. Yeah, what he's saying is, Negro, don't give yourself these liberties. I falsely assumed that so they can use the scraps and give it out during lunch hour. So I thought would be able to do the same thing. So what I learned there is don't assume. Don't assume a damn thing. And I should have asked first. That's what I should have done. And I don't think they would have let me anyhow. But it was very humiliating. And yeah, it's one of those things. So that building is all rubble now. Yeah, the shop. I mean that particular restaurant, they closed down. You know, that location and moved somewhere else some time ago. But at the time of the fire, they still had the old sign of that restaurant that I used to work at, and you could see the place where I used to work at. The my prior video that I did on Lahaina. You know, um, yeah, I show it all. Yeah, it was very pain. It was painful to me. And so why am I sharing this? I'm sharing about the hearts of the people that live there, of some of the people that live there, that are very prominent in their behavior. And it's the same type of people that allowed innocent people who are trying to escape for their lives, and they pinned them on Front Street. They blocked the north and south exit of Front Street and allowed those people to burn to death. I am telling you what happened. Yeah, you see all the abandoned cars on Front Street. Where are the people's bodies? Where are they? Where did they go? One of the survivors who jumped into the water, he had his camera, some 19-year-old boy with his little brother and mother. He was interviewed. Um, and brave child. He was encouraging his little brother, you know, they'd be okay. They were out there for 5 hours. Why did not the Coast Guard get them? They came at 12 o'clock, around 11, 12 o'clock in the evening. Why would you wait? They don't have common sense there? Whether they have sunstroke or something? That they don't have common sense? Oh, okay, you're going to block these people. Because, see, in one of the videos, one of the survivors, he was out there either 4:30 or 5:30 p.m. His phone was working at that time, and the cop said, the 911 said, jump in the water. So he and this other guy, he was a black dude and the white dude were being interviewed, but the black dude that was doing all the talking. And they were told to jump in the water. They were two of 10 other people who were forced to jump in the water. So it was 12 of them that jumped in the water, and they had to wait hours. So if the cop, didn't that cop call the Coast Guard or somebody? Hey, we ordered these people to jump in the water. We need someone to rescue them. This is what I call murder. Murder. There's no reason why to wait in the water for 5 hours. And again, it's windy, and the undertones could kill you. It's very rocky. People, this is murder, what they did in Maui. And I'm just, you know, sometimes when you grow up being abused, you're so used to being abused and you almost feel like it's normal. But when I see other people getting abused, it's like, whoa, whoa. You feel shocked. You are shocked. Because I'm not used to seeing other people being so uh, up in your face. And I remember seeing when I lived in Lahaina, it was just a month after I arrived. It was Halloween. And it was right on Front Street. And what you would call a local guy, you know, brown skinned fellow, he had his bike beside him. And he was sitting on the curb waiting for the parade to begin. Well, a cop came over and kicked him. I witnessed this and kicked him. And he was forced to leave. Yeah, he was one of the, he came there early to, to set himself up to watch the parade, the Halloween. Yeah, on Front Street they had the Halloween parade. And then just moments after that, that kid, he looked like a teenager, after he left with his bike, these white people, these white ladies, they looked like tourists, stood there. And nobody came and kicked them or get them out. They were allowed to stay there. What are they saying, people? And why are you getting off the phone? The view, I mean, why are you dropping out? I speak the truth. I hope you guys aren't getting upset because I'm telling the truth. This is what I witnessed. I personally saw this. A cop, it was a cop of color, walks over, kicks the guy of color, and then moments after the guy left, the kid left, these white people were able to stand there waiting for the parade, just like with other kids. What is going on here? This is what you call self-hate. See, they don't, it's like the crabs on the bottom. And anytime when someone of color wants to raise himself, you have someone, what you call stink eye, that's the term you use, stink eye. You give stink eye to one another. And it's like, wow, why do you do this, Hawaii? And so as I mentioned in the beginning of this live video, this live stream, but the cops who it seems like it's creating a police state. And there was a citizen reporter on the highway. It's all vacant. And they gave him a ticket. And they didn't want to give their name or badge number. And they made up something, it's against the law now to stand, to get out your car here. They don't want the evidence to get out, in my opinion. They're hiding the evidence. They're looking for something. Maybe they're taking and breaking into the safes. Something's going on. You have a right, even at 9/11, September 11th, 22 years ago, they had, you bet they had the camera crews around there, but they don't want cameras here. Even with the technology now of the, what do you call those things that fly? Drones. It's a lot of corruption. So all these, so it's these news events that's happening in Maui is triggering my memory of the things that happened to me. That's what's going on. And so yes, I am angry. So it's, you're picking up for me anger and hurt. And I did love Maui. It was beautiful. Lahaina was beautiful. Every view is beautiful because it's like the homes and everything on the peripheral of the island, and inward are the mountains. So you got two beautiful views. Either you look at beautiful mountains or you look at water. And that's what happened to me there. And I'm grieved. And it'll be forever different. And it seems like they're setting up they had passed the law. The Governor Green, he just got the job in January. Well, in January, he put up a law, an actual law, not a mandate, but a law that if it's a natural disaster, that the government, because see, Lahaina is protected property because it's a national landmark, has historical buildings and all that. It used to be the capital of um, I, I don't want to give wrong information, but it was a capital at one time. And so it's very historically very important. And it is also the tourist, sorry, oh, my batteries are running low. It's also a tourist spot. Major, major, major spot for people there. You know, it attracts a lot of people. It is the financial magnet of the island. So it's financially significant. They don't want you to see. And they pass a law uh, superseding the prior laws of the protective status Lahaina had, and that they could take over now, the government, and they can do what they want with it. So I feel that it was all planned. It was all planned. This, how would they know that? And I think someone said 2 weeks before the fire, uh, oh God, something else was passed, something else was done. How would they know that it was going to be a fire? Oh God, I don't want to give wrong information, but just 2 weeks or 1 week before the fire in Lahaina, there was something that was implemented. So it seems to suggest that things were no. Oh, okay. What was that? I think President Biden mentioned something that before the fire that he had dispatched someone for uh, some activity on Maui. Oh God, was it it could have been something with the fire. Something. People, do you know? Do you remember what you heard on the news? That Biden said a week, he said on camera a week or something, a week or two before the fire, he had dispatched this particular person there. So how would you know there's going to be a fire? Hello, people. So anyway, let me move on because I see that my batteries are low. And the last thing I was going to talk about, it was New York City, where I live. I'm born and raised here, and where I am living now. I had witnessed something yesterday that really kind of triggered me, and I started to cry. It was down my block, and we have a growing number of drug abuse in Manhattan. Um, People who might know, I've never done drugs. The lady had this plastic see-through tube, a little skinny tube like the size of a cigarette, and she was like lighting it up and trying to be, is that crack? Is that what that is? Well, honey, there was a skinny black lady. She looked like maybe in the 30s, 40s. Very petite in height, skinny, and she was sitting on a this doorway, she's by the sidewalk, but it's like a doorway, this new establishment, and evidently that's the back entrance to this establishment. And she was sitting on the stoop of it, and someone was asking her to get up, and he was saying, "Okay, excuse me, okay, you got to focus, 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 focus," like that to her. And I'm looking, well, this is weird. And then, boom, four cops appeared out of nowhere. Where did these cops come from? It's on a side street. And they came out of nowhere. And the guy didn't have a phone. The person that wanted to go get through the door, but they came out of nowhere. And I stopped. I was on my way somewhere, and I stopped to watch what they were going to do to the black lady. And they had a white female talking to her. It was one female and three males, but the female, she did talk to her, and She stood up, the black girl stood up at one point, and they were trying to get her to coax her to go. She didn't want, and then they grabbed her arm, her wrist. And then they eventually, then I saw the cop going, you know that, the cuckoo, you do the cuckoo look? You know, when you're cuckoo, like that, doing the thing in the head that you cuckoo. Oh, the lady, the black lady was high as a kite. It was so sad. And she just, in her own world, and she just moved on. Then she moved on the side. They did not beat her up or anything. I was afraid that they were going to beat her up or do something. They know, see, she's a black female. She's already on the bottom. And nothing. This woman was into her, whatever she's doing. That's her life, those drugs. And then when I was coming back, I had to come back for something. And the same lady, and the same thing happens again. This time it's all different cops. There was no female there. And I said, oh God, please, I hope nothing happens to her. And then, yeah, she eventually, she moved to the side. And then she had all these wads of money in her hand, these dollar bills, and openly in front of the cops who go there, they didn't mess with her. They didn't take her money or whatever. It, it was the first time I ever saw something like that. God thought just so they would say, oh, you're trespassing, you're on the stoop, we're going to arrest you. They didn't arrest her. She's already broken. And I was going to do a video then when I got back in the house. I started to cry. Yeah, and also right by that was hanging out there, this black dude. He was tall and heavy set. Like he was at like a one section, and then when he saw the cops come, he went over to observe, to look. And he was actually drooling. This stuff was coming out of his mouth. Dude! Also high as a kite. Oh my God. The drug scene here in New York City is horrible. It's also horrible in Maui, but they cover up the drug stuff there in Maui. Yeah, there's a lot of homelessness, and a lot of the homelessness there are white people from California usually, and they go there, they buy a tent, and then they get what looks like a fishing pole. Because see, if the cops come on the beach, you say, "Oh, I'm just fishing." That's how they do it. That's how they do it there. New York City, where the homeless, they're right on the street. There are shelters, but it's dangerous. And remember before, I did a video some years back. They rape the women. Well, I'm not supposed to say that word. Where they violate the women. They have people, men, dressed as women, to go in the women's shelter and to sexually violate the women there. I met one of them. I was just sitting down on a bench, just sitting down, and the lady asked us if it's okay that she sit next to me. I said, I don't mind. Just sit. It's a free country. You sit where you want to sit. She was a really, really big black woman, real fat. And she shared her story. And she told me what happened. She wasn't born, but she lived with her mom, and the siblings. Mother dies, and they wanted her out. So she had this thing that they back in the day they used to give out these these vouchers. Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't free. You pay like maybe like $100 for it, and it's to get a free ride. You can go anywhere in the United States with it. Bus ride. I kid you not. They used to have this program. It's to get the vagrants away from your city. So, some people they work like they work a seasonal, and they move from city to city. And so they allowed at this time for people to be able to move around freely. And even Canada. She even traveled to Canada. She went all over. And then I think that the program stopped. And now she's stuck She was making money. She's now, I'm not able to make the money because now I can't move from city to city. And she had gotten violated at the homeless shelter, so now she lives on the street. This is what she told me. This is the state of many black people in New York City. This is the state, and it's work. That happened, with the lady, the black lady, who's telling her story about homelessness and being violated. That was in 2015. Well, that's sometime. That's like 8 years ago. This is 8 years ago. 8 years ago that happened. I can still see her in my mind. She was a nice lady. She just fell into hard times. She wasn't a bad person. Things are expensive here in New York City. And she lived in an apartment with her mom and siblings. She was an adult. She can't afford, she couldn't afford it to get her own place. You get displaced. Things happen. And you can get displaced overnight, just like the people in Hawaii. You can get displaced overnight. Look at Katrina, Hurricane Katrina. Who really got hurt in Hurricane Katrina? All those black people. And they followed instructions. They were told to go to that stadium. And they went there. The hurricane hit. Massive flooding. And they didn't supply any water, places for them to go to the bathroom, anything, or food. And a lot of people died. That was a tragedy too. That was a tragedy. And then they were had cameras to shame the black people, to shame us, black folk. Oh, they're looting. They're looting. You don't think anybody's looting in Hawaii? That place is a where are those people going to get food, water? But they don't show that. I don't know. Wow. Okay. That just yeah. The sign just popped up here. That I only have 5% left on my battery, so I'm gonna be going soon. But yeah, so I'm just sharing this. That here in New York City, the one of the richest states, and this is a condition of some of its citizens. And we have right next door facilities for migrants slash illegals who are protected. Kids are bused to school, and here you have American blacks who are just now no jobs, no home. After the past 3 years, a lot of people, a lot of businesses shut down, a lot of people have laid off, deaths. We forgot about all the deaths that were happening here in New York. The black people are being overlooked, and so I'm being triggered when I see things what's happening in Maui and my current world. It's getting to me a little bit. I'll be okay. So I'm doing something also, something that I did yesterday. Something that I started to implement yesterday. Uh, I might share it later on. I don't know what the status would be. It's just something I just implemented, and hopefully I get an answer soon. I don't feel safe here in the city. Um, I feel like I'm being pushed out of my own country. Migrants all over, 100,000 migrants right around, and they're getting more dominant. And again, I'm not anti legal immigration. I am against social engineering and migrants being used as a weapon, and they're going to be activated soon. I feel it, and they're going to try to plan this. I mean, the system is planning, I heard, this new mandates for the mask and everything else. So they're going to do a lot of shutdowns, I bet. Oh, you can't go to the hospital without this mask or that mask to go to this, to do shopping for food. Yeah, they were getting ugly in New York City. Ugly, like in Hawaii. Yeah. So I share this from my heart. And again, if I offended anybody, I apologize. But we have to get the information out. We have to get the information out. What is happening here? I am a lone black woman here in America, a veteran, and they don't even care about us veterans. And a lot of the people that you see on the street are veterans, but yet we are housing and having money to send to Ukraine and not to the veterans that are living on the street or to be treated with dignity. Just saying. So I thank you again. And those of you who like this content and want to support this channel, you can do so by PayPaling me. My channel name is Spirit Journey. And on the banner, on the right side of the banner of my channel, you see my PayPal me link. Just click on the link, follow the prompt, and any amount would be greatly appreciated. I appreciate you in advance. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your prayers, your well wishes, and your financial contributions, whatever what you can afford. And if you can't even afford even a penny, that's okay too. You can give me a thumbs up. You could just say hello in the chat room, and that's fine with me. That is fine. Let people know about this video. Share it out there. Because I speak the truth and I speak from the heart. This is Spirit Journey signing off. Enjoy your day. Bye bye.